Welcome you all. Myself Naresh Malireddy, Assistant Professor, Department of Automobile Engineering, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. Today I am going to discuss the concepts of automotive structures and design. The content of my lecture is as follows. It is rigid and deformable bodies, mechanical properties, stress strain curve, tension, compressive and shear stresses, and elastic constants. So first of all, we will see what is a rigid body and what is a deformable body with an example. See, a rigid bodies which does not deform when subjected to loads, while deformable bodies do deform. So here if you see an example for a rigid body, here a person is sitting in a chair where on this chair the different forces are being acting. So due to these forces the body will definitely deform, but the deformation is considered to be very small or negligible. Likewise, if you take a car which is moving on a road, on this car so certain forces are acting, so due to that forces also the car is not being deformed. So due to that this car is considered to be as a rigid body. So here likewise if you take for an example for a deformable body, a car is being exposed to a crash analysis where it is been impacted with or collided with a wall where a certain deformation has been taken place. So these deformation can be predicted, can be known by means of studying the variations of the stresses and strains and as well as the and based upon the different materials. We have different material properties for predicting the behavior of the material, like physical properties, chemical properties, mechanical properties, magnetic properties, electrical properties. So for knowing the behavior of the material, mainly in our lecture we are going to consider the mechanical properties. Like if we observe here a person is been stretching a band where it can able to stretch. So here when a force is been applied on a block, the block is able to resist the application of load with a small deformation which is been shown at the top of the surface. Likewise, a block of material is being stretched in between the two rollers. So due to the application of force in between the rollers, the material has been stretched enough and it is been changes its shape and it form in the form of sheets. Likewise, here in this image you can observe that a force is been applied on this original form, whereas the material has been bent in this direction. So due to the application of load and after removing this load, the material has been regained its original state. So and another in another image, this image you can observe that a glass is being hit with a moving bullet and the glass has broken into number of pieces. Likewise, if you are able to see here, a material is being passed through a pipe of different diameters. So even though the material is passing through different diameters, due to the force which was applied on this, the material has been changes its diameter. We understood that the behavior of materials mainly depend upon the mechanical properties. So here are some of the mechanical properties which are listed. Elasticity, property to regain its original shape. Plasticity, property which retains the deformation produced under load. Ductility, property of a material to be drawn into wire form with using tensile force. Brittleness, property of breaking a material without any deformation. Toughness, property to resist fracture under impact load. Hardness, resistance to indentation or scratch. Fatigue, failure of materials due to cyclic loading. Malleability, property of material to be drawn in the form of sheets. Stiffness, able to resist deformation under stress. The properties can be understood for the materials based upon different loading conditions. To understand the mechanical properties, a tensile test is being conducted on the given materials. So from the material, a tensile specimen is being conducted as per ASTM standard, and these specimens can be loaded in the UTM machine in between these two jars. For this specimen, an extensometer which is shown in a magnified view can be connected for taking the deformation values, toning down the deformation values. And for the applied load is also being noted for different load values. What can be the extension of the material will be predicted, and these values are being converted in terms of stress from the load values, and the deformation extension can be converted in terms of strain, and between these two parameters stress and strain, a stress strain curve is been plotted. From the stress strain curve, it is observed that the stress and strain are shows a linear relationship up to a point, and after that point, the stress strain curve is being shown in terms of a different relationship, and the path is being shown in the curvature. So up to this point where the stress and strain are directly proportional, or we can say that they are having a linear relationship, and up to that point the region what we are calling is nothing but elastic region. So elastic region, the curve is straight line and the material will return to its original dimensions, and when the load is released, the slope of the curve in this region gives the stiffness of the material, which is known as the elastic modulus or Young's modulus. So from this we can understand that up to this point the material behaves as elastically, and also the material having a property of stiffness and as well as elastic in nature. And up to this point the material behaves elastically, and beyond this point the material will be under plastic stage. So from this we can understand that plastic deformation begins at this point. If the load is released after this point, the material will permanently, and this is what we are calling as plasticity, and this plasticity can be shown in this along this region. So here the material will deform plastically, which does not come to its original state. So the material becomes harder and stronger, and the stress required to deform material increases. So here the material having good hardness, this is also one of the property of the. And also we can observe that once the material is reaching the maximum stress value, the material, the tensile specimen will localizedly decrease in cross-sectional area, where a necking is formed and the deformation is going to have, that means the diameter of this material having a will be reduced. And after continuous loading the material starts deform, that means there will be a reduction in this cross sectional area, and at one point there will be a fracture will. From this stress strain curve we can understand what is we can know that what is elasticity, what is plasticity, and what is stiffness. And it is clearly understood from the stress strain curve that stress is directly proportional to strain within the elastic limit. So here the ratio of the stress to the corresponding strain is a constant and is represented by means of a symbol called E, and it is termed as Young's modulus. So this relationship bit of stress and strain within the elastic limit is being explained by means of a Hooke's law. So if we can understand once again that if we apply a load and the extension plot a curve, so after this limit the material is going to stretch, and if you remove the load the material is going to follow this path and is going to reach this point. So this change of the path of the material is considered to be as permanent deformation. Here we are going to see the difference between the three properties: ductility, toughness, and brittleness. So ductility is the property of the material to withstand the load before failure. So here if in ductile material you can observe the maximum plastic deformation during loading. So this is important for materials in fabrication where they can shape easily without breaking in the process, where always the designers will want a little ductility, so that if the stress applied to the component is too high, the material can deform before it breaks. And while coming to the toughness, toughness is the property of the material to store the maximum energy in the form of strain energy before fracture. So whereas the toughness of the material can be exhibited in this stress strain curve, where the area under this curve can be considered as the toughness of the material. So during this toughness the material stores maximum strain energy inside it before fracture. So the higher the storing of the energy, the material having higher toughness, and also the deformation, higher the deformation of the material before the failure is having high toughness. When coming to the brittleness property, it can be explained by comparing with the ductility. As we already know that the ductility materials will have higher plastic deformation, but in brittle materials we cannot find high plastic deformation. But whereas we can see elastic deformation is more in brittle materials when compared with ductile materials. So for this reason, the brittle materials are having higher Young's modulus when compared with ductile materials. So the ductile materials will have lower Young's modulus, but the brittle materials are having higher Young's modulus. So this can be seen in this stress strain curve. So this up to this point, the materials will fail without any plastic deformation, whereas the material will have higher plastic deformation in case of ductile materials. Here are some of the stress strain curves which we can see for different materials. So these curves shows the stress strain curve for the metals other than steel, and these are referred to as non-ferrous metals, where it will reach high strains, and because of this large amount of elongation which we can see, that is the plastic deformation which is occurring. So these are the having intermediate Young's modulus, because with having intermediate Young's modulus, whereas coming to the other type of materials like steels have the similar stress strain curve which you have seen for explanation, where it have higher yield point where the stress does not increase beyond this. This is known as discontinuous yielding. Here at this stage, yielding of the material can be seen, and it is due to the effect of carbon in the steel. Whereas this curve shows the three typical curves for the other material like polymer. So here the first curve without lower plastic deformation but having higher elastic deformation, which you can see in brittle polymers, whereas the second curve will be representing the ductile polymers having elastic region and yielding, and also the plastic region. But whereas the third one having high elastic polymers such as rubbers, here we can have higher elastic polymers, but here the Young's modulus is very minimal, because here we can see the elastic nature is higher, but the Young's modulus is lower. So in this lecture, we have seen the difference between the rigid bodies and deformable bodies and various mechanical properties, and also we have plotted a stress strain curve for a material and the relationship between the stress and strain according to Hooke's law we have discussed, and also the different properties also been known from can be predicted by means of by using the stress strain curve. Thank you all for listening my lecture. Thank you.